getting this leg day. I gotta get this haircut this weekend. Anyway, today's Monday. It's 36 degrees in May. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So I slept like crap last night, and I think that has confirmed to me that cheat meals are becoming an enemy. So typically I allow myself one day out of the week where I'm allowed to have the cheat meal, right? Where I break diet just enough, to kind of enjoy food that I'm not typically allowed to have on a regular basis. So because yesterday was Mother's Day, I allowed myself to have a double cheeseburger and some fries from BW3s, and I also had 10-piece boneless wing, which chicken for me is, excuse me 1 second, this road is like stupid, and it's knocking my phone all over the place. Anyway, so typically, like, chicken is always what's on the menu for me, because chicken is the best form of meat protein outside of fish, which obviously you can't have fish like every day. You could, but who wants to have the same exact meal every single day? I have a really good sense of belief that to be able to sustainably have a good diet, you have to enjoy the things you're eating. You can't just torture yourself with foods because you're on diet, that you have to have some sort of restriction on yourself, so much so that you should be miserable. I feel like you should always enjoy your food, no matter what the situation is. So I do my best to make sure I keep a good variety of allowing myself to have things that I would regularly want, while making sure I'm on calorie restriction, that I'm keeping myself in a place of content where I'm not sad about the fact that I'm on diet. Too often you hear people complain well, I'm on a diet, I can't have that, or I'm on a diet, that's a no for me, this sucks, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. I feel like you should be able to eat whatever you really want to eat. Obviously, don't go smashing on candy bars and things all day long, but I feel like as long as you're watching your calories, as long as you're eating a moderately healthy diet, you can have a candy bar. A candy bar is not going to kill you. You can have whatever you want to have, as long as your control is there, and that was a problem for me at the beginning of this whole quarantine thing. I just got really, really sloppy and out of control. I stopped controlling what I was doing. I just kind of nosedived into the foods I wanted to eat and just ate whatever I wanted and didn't really care about the consequences that followed. So I've gotten that under control. I'm actually really impressive. In a week and a half, I've been able to kind of turn my diet around and get back on track with that. Here's the problem that typically happens, okay? So, and I know you guys probably know about this, you've heard it a billion times from other people or whatever, or you yourself might have even experienced it. What typically happens is somebody breaks diet, and when they break diet, they then, oh, well, that's ruined. I'll eat like junk for the rest of the week, and we'll start again on Monday. And like, that's not okay. That's an excuse. I use that excuse, so I get to say that's an excuse. So I get that point of view. I do. I get it. But it's just one giant excuse. That's a cop-out of trying to justify you doing whatever you feel like doing. Just because you break diet doesn't mean your diet all of a sudden is ruined. Doesn't mean it's over. Doesn't mean you're SOL on getting healthy or whatever. Just means that, okay, well, you screwed up. Get back on track. Okay, like I had that cheat meal yesterday. I feel like crap for it now. So like I'm slowly starting to even kind of turn away from that, because now I'm realizing like I was really slow and sluggish to get out of bed this morning. I slept like crap. I had a relatively really good training session, but because I slept like crap, I had a really late start, which means I didn't get the full amount of sets in that I needed to get in. Like, it affected my entire morning routine. And because of that, now I'm in my mind thinking like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do like a cheat meal for dinner. Maybe I need to make cheat meal like lunch so I can work it out of my system. Maybe I need to figure out a different way of approach. Well, that's kind of the way I look at anyone else when it comes to, well, I broke my diet. You have to have a different approach. You cannot just go into this thing like, oh, I blew it. You have to go into this thing with, all right, I need to make an adjustment now. Like, I screwed this up. How do I make sure I don't do that again? Or how do I make room for this screw up to happen? So like cheat meals, for instance, I'm completely for cheat meals. I think one cheat meal a week is necessity. Because if you are truly dieting correctly, you're gonna run into wants like all week long. You're gonna have want things all week long. I don't care how clean of an eater you are, and anyone that tells you otherwise is lying, just flat out. You're gonna want a cheat meal. You're gonna want to break diet at least once or twice during the course of the week, so that one cheat meal that you give yourself makes room for you to be able to indulge without blowing it, so long as you're able to make that adjustment. That's been hard for me, and that's kind of the reason why I'm stressing on that a little bit in this video in particular. It's been rough for me to be able to define the line of where it's a cheat meal versus where it's a lifestyle versus where I'm just making excuses for myself. It's one of those three things, flat out, for everybody. And I'm really, really proud that I'm getting that under control. Now, obviously, still have room for some work to be made, because, like I said, man, that meal last night, while it was delicious, like I love hamburgers. I'm a big hamburger person. I honestly don't eat red meat elsewise, except for hamburgers. I will have the occasional steak if it's a celebration, but typically I don't eat red meats. So that's why when people are like, oh, you should cut red meat out of your diet because it causes inflammation, like, honestly, I don't eat red meat. I think I have red meat maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe. Outside of that, it's always like chicken, fish, whatever. Like, chicken is the biggest staple in my house. Anyway, back to the point. You cannot let, like, the small screw-ups off-shift your goals. And I mean, I feel like that's diet, I feel like that's life, I feel like that's everything. You cannot let these small things get in the way of the major goals, the major progress you want to make. And that's something that I made excuses for the past like month and a half, 2 months, maybe even 3 months. I've just been making the excuse of, well, I didn't train this morning and I ate like crap last night, so I'm just gonna eat like crap today because, screw that. And that's no way to live. That's no way to approach things. It's just not. And like, in all honesty, if you don't have the discipline, like, accountability partners are real. I know people laugh whenever they hear people talk about that. Typically, accountability partners are talked about when you're in conversation about drugs and alcohol and those. I'm saying, like, food is a drug to some people. I have a serious issue with comforting myself with food. I always have, because never got into drugs. I never, I had small stints of, being into alcohol, when I was younger, but my comfort was always food. I always went to food as my comfort. Whenever I was sad, angry, upset, whatever, I would typically try to, douse that mood with something to eat. And it would typically be the most unhealthy thing I could find that I would get into. And it would be because, I wanted it. I wanted all that sugar. I wanted all the grease and everything else, because to me that was, my way of breaking out of the situation that I've been placed in. It was my way of gauging and getting control, even though it was completely not control, completely out of control. Yeah. So, I'm at work. I gotta go in here and pound out this shift and be a boss. And, we'll see what the day brings. I'll see if I can record anything else for today. I don't know. I'm already at 12 minutes, and that's rough because I have, a whole another day of recording before the video posts, so this video might be long. If you don't want to watch the entirety, I get it. But like I've said before, I'll say it a million times over, this is my journey. And I'm doing this not just for you guys out there to watch it and to hopefully get inspired by it and make shifts in your life that need to be made, but I'm doing this specifically for me because I want to track my progress and I want to hold myself accountable. And I am a big believer in whatever you speak is normally what is. Whatever you put out into the universe is what you're doing. That's typically what you do. I'm out.